India, a land of vibrant diversity, finds itself grappling with a disconcerting reality. Self-proclaimed protectors of the cow, driven by a potent mix of religious fervor and nationalist sentiment, roam the countryside on a mission to safeguard an animal revered in Hinduism. Their methods? Often brutal, leaving a trail of fear and violence, particularly among India's Muslim minority. These cow vigilante groups, operating with impunity in several states, have become a chilling symbol of an increasing intolerance. Their actions, often characterized by mob violence and extrajudicial killings, represent a dangerous erosion of the rule of law. The Indian government, despite international condemnation, has been slow to act, fueling accusations of tacit complicity. This surge in cow vigilantism, along with the rise of Hindu nationalism, poses a significant threat to India's foundational values. The cow, in Hindu tradition, holds a position of profound reverence. Considered sacred, a symbol of life and nourishment, the cow embodies virtues of gentleness and abundance. Hindus revere the cow as Gau Mata, or cow mother, underscoring their deep spiritual connection for the animal. This reverence stems from the cow's association with several Hindu deities and its role in ancient scriptures. Krishna, for example, is often depicted as a cowherd. The cow's milk, considered pure and life-giving, is used in religious ceremonies and daily life. This deep-rooted religious significance, however, has been increasingly manipulated. Right-wing Hindu groups have weaponized cow protection, exploiting religious sentiments to further their political agenda. This distortion of faith has led to the justification of violence against those who consume or trade in beef, creating a climate of fear and intimidation. The rise of cow vigilantism in India cannot be disentangled from the surge in Hindu nationalism. This phenomenon has been gaining momentum over the past few years, becoming a significant socio-political issue. This ideology, known as Hindutva, envisions India as a Hindu nation, often at the expense of its religious minorities. It seeks to redefine the country's identity, marginalizing those who do not fit into its narrow vision. Cow protection, closely linked with Hindu identity, has become a powerful instrument for proponents to consolidate their power and influence. The cow serves as a symbol to rally support and unify followers under a shared cause. Groups like the RSS and its affiliates, including the ruling BJP, have actively promoted cow protection as a core element of their political agenda. This promotion is not just about religious sentiment, but also a strategic move to gain political leverage. This strategy resonates with a segment of the Hindu population, especially in rural areas, where the cow holds immense cultural and economic significance, symbolizing both livelihood and tradition. Emboldened by a sense of impunity, cow vigilant groups primarily target Muslims and Dalits involved in the cattle trade. Operating with a sense of righteousness, they believe they are upholding sacred traditions by targeting those they perceive as outsiders. Their actions are not spontaneous zeal, but a calculated strategy to instill fear and assert Hindu dominance. By targeting specific communities, they aim to create an atmosphere of intimidation and control. The violence unleashed by cow vigilante groups has had a devastating impact on India's Muslim community. Muslims, who constitute a significant minority in India, have been disproportionately targeted in these attacks, accused of cow slaughter or beef consumption, often based on mere suspicion or rumor. They face the brunt of mob fury. Reports of lynchings, beatings, and public humiliation have become disturbingly commonplace. These violent acts, often executed with chilling brutality, rarely face swift justice. The perpetrators, emboldened by a culture of impunity, often enjoy political patronage, further emboldening their reign of terror. The targeting extends beyond physical violence. Their livelihoods are at risk, with businesses being vandalized and boycotted. A climate of fear exists, forcing many to live in a constant state of vulnerability. The Indian government's muted response to this targeted violence raises concerns about its commitment to protecting all its citizens. The BJP and Cow Protectionism. The rise of cow vigilantism in India coincided with the BJP coming to power in 2014. This period marked a significant shift in the country's political and social landscape. The BJP, with its roots deeply embedded in Hindu nationalism, has long advocated for a nationwide ban on cow slaughter, capitalizing on the religious sentiments attached to the cow. This advocacy has been a cornerstone of their political strategy, Since coming to power, the BJP-led government has enacted stricter cow protection laws in several states, emboldening vigilante groups. These laws have given rise to a new wave of activism centered around cow protection. Critics argue that these laws, often vaguely worded and open to interpretation, are being used to target minorities and stifle dissent. The ambiguity in the legislation has led to widespread misuse and abuse. The government's failure to denounce vigilante violence has sparked accusations of implicit endorsement, giving these groups the confidence to act without fear of repercussions. This political climate, marked by the mainstreaming of Hindu nationalist ideology, has created an environment where cow vigilantism thrives. The ideology has seeped into various facets of society, influencing public opinion and behavior. The lines between law enforcement and vigilante action have blurred, with some politicians openly praising and even justifying mob violence. This has led to a dangerous precedent where the rule of law is undermined. The intertwining of politics and vigilantism poses a significant threat to India's rule of law. The unchecked rise of vigilante groups challenges the very principles of justice and equality that the nation stands for. Social media has become a double-edged sword in India, transforming the way people communicate and engage with each other. While providing a platform for diverse voices and opinions, it has also become a breeding ground for hate speech and misinformation, fueling the flames of vigilantism and social unrest. Cow vigilante groups exploit social media platforms to spread their ideology, incite violence, and mobilize supporters, often with alarming efficiency. False rumors and inflammatory content, often shared on platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook, have led to numerous instances of mob violence, causing widespread panic and chaos. The speed and reach of social media make it difficult to control. The Indian government has struggled to regulate social media effectively, facing criticism for both censorship and inaction as they try to balance free speech with public safety. While some efforts have been made to curb hate speech and fake news, the sheer volume of online content poses a significant challenge, making it a daunting task to monitor and control. Scholars of contemporary India, such as Christophe Jaffrelot, have provided crucial insights into the rise of Hindutva. He argues that Hindutva represents a political ideology that seeks to redefine Indian identity solely in Hindu terms, marginalizing religious minorities. He highlights the role of organizations like the RSS in propagating this ideology, using a mix of cultural and religious narratives to appeal to a sense of Hindu pride and victimhood. Understanding the ideological underpinnings of Hindutva is essential for addressing the root causes of cow vigilantism. Such scholars emphasize the need to counter the narratives of hate and division, promoting a more inclusive vision of India that respects the rights and freedoms of all its citizens. The future of cow vigilante violence in India appears concerning, with potential for further escalation if current trends continue. The rise in attacks, driven by a combination of religious nationalism and lax enforcement, suggests that these incidents could even become more frequent and brutal. The government's ambiguous stance and the emboldened behavior of vigilante groups under the BJP's tenure could perpetuate a cycle of violence and impunity. Without decisive intervention to address both the violence and the underlying religious tensions, the societal polarization around this issue is likely to deepen, leading to greater communal discord and instability.